Hi everyone, welcome to week 10 of English 124 Writing About Literature. So, we in the beginning of our class looked at short stories, then we took some time to write about a short story, then we switched over to poetry, we looked at some poems for a few weeks, and now we're going to take some time to write about poetry. This week we're looking at a longer poem called The Goblin Market. So you're going to read that, and there's also some criticism on the Goblin Market. Criticism means that it's a secondary source. Someone is writing about, analyzing, and commenting on the poem. There are two secondary sources. One of them might have more than one critic, now that I'm thinking about it. At any rate, you only have to use one of them and you don't have to read the entire article. Just know that you're basically looking through it for something that agrees with your interpretation or disagrees with your interpretation. But if you remember, when we did the writing about short fiction a couple weeks ago, that I talked about how to include secondary sources into your essay. So now we're going to be practicing some of those skills. With the Goblin Market, it is a little bit of a longer poem. So your assignment this week is to read it, to look at the criticism. Make sure you watch the lecture because I really do explain a number of the elements and who the audience is. It's a big piece of this, depending on how you want to interpret it, what happens in the poem, and some of the elements that the author uses. Some of those literary devices that we've been talking about are the poetic devices and elements. I chose this poem for you for your paper because it is a little bit longer, so there's a little bit more to work with. I find sometimes when people try to write a paper about a shorter poem, they sometimes run out of things to say or talk about, but I don't think that that'll be the case here. Then you'll be doing your paper checkpoint just like you did before, the first couple paragraphs. And again, I've provided a full outline for you that you can use if you want to use it to organize your thoughts and all of that. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the poem, and I hope you learn a lot from the lecture before you get started on writing. Make sure, again, as I said before, that you don't just summarize the poem. I've read it. I know what happens. I want your analysis of it. So now that's it, and have a great week. Thanks, everybody.